Chapter 1. The story you didn't know you were living. There are moments in life that don't feel significant when they happen. They don't come with music. They don't announce themselves as life-altering. They don't say, "Remember this, you'll be carrying it for years." They just happen, and then they stay, quietly. I didn't know I was carrying a story, not consciously. If you had asked me, I would have told you I was independent, strong, self-aware, maybe even ahead of my time in certain ways. I knew how to navigate people. I knew how to read energy. I knew how to adapt. What I didn't know was that underneath all of that, I was still operating from something I never fully felt. It wasn't obvious. It showed up in subtle ways, being careful with how I expressed myself, reading people before I spoke, avoiding conflict even when I was right, over-explaining things that didn't need explanation, wanting to be understood but not wanting to risk being rejected. And the strange part? None of it felt like weakness. It felt like intelligence. It felt like awareness. It felt like being considerate. But underneath all of that, there was a pattern, a quiet one that said, "Be careful. You don't want to be cast out." I didn't question where that came from, because most of us don't. We inherit behaviors, and then we call them personality. We adapt to survive, and then we call it identity. We learn how to move through the world in ways that keep us safe, and then we say, "This is just who I am." But at some point, something shifts. You begin to notice that certain reactions don't match the moment, that certain emotions feel older than the situation, that your response is stronger than what's actually happening. And if you're paying attention, really paying attention, you start to ask a different question. Where did this come from? For me, that question didn't come from curiosity. It came from friction. There was a moment, simple on the surface, where I could feel something wasn't moving. Not in my mind, in my body. A tension, a resistance. Something stuck. I tried to think my way through it. Didn't work. I tried to rationalize it. Didn't move. I tried to tell myself, this doesn't matter anymore. Still, nothing. That's when I realized something important. If it's in the body, you can't think your way out of it. So I stopped trying to solve it, and I started asking a different question. What am I actually holding on to? That question changed everything, because the moment I stopped trying to bypass it, the memory came up, clear, vivid. Not like something I was recalling, like something I was stepping back into. I was younger, around 13, maybe 14. I had bought a pair of shoes with my own money, shoes I wanted. Shoes that felt like me. My mother didn't want me to wear them. She said no. And for the first time in a real way, I chose myself. I wore them anyway. I went to school. Nothing dramatic happened, just a normal day. But when I came back home, everything changed. She was sitting there, calm, doing my sister's hair, like nothing was wrong. And then she looked at me and told me to get out. Just like that. No escalation, no yelling, no build-up, just get out. And I did. I left the house, and suddenly, I had nowhere to go. I ended up at my grandparents' house, but I didn't go inside. I hid under the back porch. I can still see it, the wood above me, the ground beneath me, the space just big enough to stay hidden. And I remember exactly how it felt. Not anger, not even confusion at first. It was something deeper. Rejection, abandonment. I don't belong. I didn't cry, not then. I didn't know how. So I sat there, holding it, storing it, freezing it. And at that moment, without realizing it, a decision was made inside of me. Not consciously, but clearly. Don't do anything that could get you rejected like this again. And just like that, a pattern was born. That moment didn't stay in the past. It became a filter, a reference point, a silent rule, and over time it shaped everything. How I spoke, how I expressed myself, how much of myself I showed, how I navigated relationships, how I handled disagreement, not because I was weak, but because I adapted. And adaptation is powerful, but it's also dangerous when you forget you adapted, because then you think, this is just me. But it wasn't just me, it was me. Plus, a moment I never fully felt. And that's the thing about unprocessed experiences. They don't disappear, they wait. They show up in your reactions. They show up in your relationships. They show up in your body. They show up in the way you hesitate when you know you shouldn't. And they stay there until you're ready to feel them. That day, under that porch, I didn't have the capacity to process what I felt, so I stored it. Years later, I had to go back, not physically, but emotionally. And when I did, that's when I realized I wasn't just remembering the moment. I was still carrying it. And that's when the real work began. Because healing isn't about understanding what happened. It's about feeling what was never allowed to be felt. And most of us avoid that because we think, if I go there, I might not come back. But what I discovered is this: you don't get lost in the feeling. You get freed by it. That moment under the porch, that fear, that rejection, that silence. It wasn't just a memory. It was unfinished energy. And until it moved, it would keep shaping how I moved. This book is about that process. Not the theory of it, not the concept of it, but the real lived experience of finding the root, feeling it fully, and choosing not to carry it forward. Because the truth is, most of us aren't just living our lives. We're living stories we never realized we were still inside of. And the moment you see it, you have a choice. Keep carrying it or transform it. This is where the alchemist begins. What if the pain that shaped you was actually the beginning of your power? That's the idea behind my book. I am the alchemist, transmuting trauma into power. If you want to understand how our past silently programs our behavior and how to break those patterns, the Amazon link is in the description below. And if you enjoy content about transformation, psychology, and the hidden rules guiding our lives, like this video, share it with someone who needs to hear this, and subscribe to Secrets of the Philosopher's Stone. Because once you see the pattern, you can finally change the story.